So today, we're diving deep into a piece of gear that honestly was supposed to be a total game changer for streamers, the Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra. I mean, it's got this huge sensor and even bigger promises. But after living with this thing for a while, I can tell you it also comes with some major headaches. So let's get right into it. I'm starting with this because really it cuts right to the chase. Your $300 webcam is lying to you. Look, this thing's been out for years. You've probably seen all the glowing reviews, right? But the actual long-term reality of owning this thing, it is so much messier than the hype wants you to believe. And here it is, the camera itself. You gotta admit, it looks the part, it feels premium, and it comes with this massive promise of being a mirrorless killer. But that's the real question we're gonna dig into today. What's the real price you pay for that amazing image quality? And spoiler alert, it's not just the money. We're talking bugs, we're talking heat, and oh boy, are we talking software nightmares. Okay, here's our game plan for today. First, we're gonna tear apart that mirrorless killer lie. Then we'll get into the reality of that giant sensor, both the good and the bad. After that, I'll show you how to survive what I call the synapse tax. We'll set up some pro workflow fixes, stack it up against the competition, and wrap it all up with a final verdict and a quick revision. Let's do this. All right, section 1. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and tackle the biggest myth right away. This idea that the Kiyo Pro Ultra can actually replace a real mirrorless camera. I mean, that's been the marketing line for years, but the day-to-day reality, it tells a very, very different story. Look, here's the bottom line. Owning this thing long-term is like running a gauntlet of problems you just shouldn't have to deal with. I'm talking about firmware bugs that never seem to get fixed, a crippling USB bandwidth issue that can literally destroy your video feed, and a massive heating problem that, by the way, Razer just kind of pretends doesn't exist. So if you're sitting there thinking this is your ticket to replacing a real camera like a Sony ZV-E10, let me just be crystal clear. It's not even close. And this brings us to a super common mistake, a trap that so many people fall into. You see 4K 60 FPS on the box, and you think, great, that's what I'm getting. But the reality is, the hardware is totally choked by its USB 3.0 connection. When you try to push that beautiful, uncompressed 4K video through it, you end up with a stuttering, completely unusable mess. That is, unless you know the secret handshake. The workarounds we're going to get into later. So, quick recap for this section. The Kiyo is sold as a mirrorless killer, but in reality, it's chained down by bugs, serious heats, and major bandwidth problem. Okay, let's move on to the star of the show, the main event, the reason you even consider buying this thing. That absolutely massive sensor. And you know, this is where the Kiyo really does shine, but it's also a double-edged sword. It's the source of its greatest strength and its biggest, most frustrating problem. So what are we talking about here? It's a Sony Starvis 2 sensor, and at 1/1.2 inches, that is by far the biggest sensor ever crammed into a webcam. I mean, on paper, this is absolutely incredible. It's literally designed to just drink in light, which should make it the undisputed king of low-light streaming. And you know what? This is the one place where the hype is 100% real. You put this camera in a dark room with just your monitor for light, and the image it produces is just remarkably clean. Its superpower is how it handles chromatic noise. You know that ugly, colorful, speckly stuff you see in the shadows of most webcam footage? Gone. It's so good at this, it can honestly beat some entry-level DSLRs. This part, absolutely legit. But come on, you knew there was a but coming, right? There's always a catch. So what's the hidden price? What's the trade-off for cramming a sensor this big and powerful into a little tiny webcam body? The answer, in one word, is heat. A giant sensor generates a ton of heat, and that leads to a little something called thermal throttling. All this means is, it's a safety feature. When a chip gets too hot, the processor inside literally slows itself down to keep from getting damaged. It's just like an athlete slowing down to a walk when they start overheating. Same idea. So what does that actually mean for you? Well, here's the painful part. That thermal throttling directly hits your frame rate. So you set up your stream, you think you're broadcasting at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second, but then the camera heats up and bam, without any warning, you're suddenly down to 45 FPS. And you might not even notice until your viewers start complaining about the choppy video. Okay, quick recap for this section. The massive sensor gives you incredible low-light video, for sure, but it also cooks itself, leading to thermal throttling that can tank your frame rate. All right, let's talk about the software. And I have a name for this, I call it the synapse tax. It's this price that every single Razer user has to pay in the form of frustrating, bloated, buggy software. And trust me, with the Kiyo Pro Ultra, that tax is steep. And look, let's be blunt, the situation is a complete disaster, no matter what system you're on. If you're a Mac user, game over. The conversation is done. This camera is an expensive, high-tech paperweight because Razer Synapse 3, the software you need to run it, still doesn't exist for macOS. It's just unbelievable. And for you Windows users out there, don't feel too smug. You're barely better off. Yeah, you can install the software, but you're stuck with a bloated monster that causes more problems than it actually solves. Let's get specific. One of the most widespread problems comes from a firmware update, version 1.5.0.1. Now, this update was supposed to fix an autofocus bug, but instead, it gave us a brand new one, this awful, constant pulsing autofocus. So even if you're sitting perfectly still, you can see the camera breathing in and out, constantly hunting for focus. It's so distracting for anyone watching your stream. Okay, but there is some good news. For that killer USB bandwidth problem, there is a fix, and you have to follow this exactly. Ready? Open up your device manager in Windows, find the section called Sound, Video, and Game Controllers. You're going to disable the Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra in that section only. Super important. Leave it enabled under the camera section. Now, why does this work? It's because it tells Windows to stop trying to use the camera's absolutely garbage built-in microphone. That frees up just enough USB bandwidth to let your 4K video feed run smoothly. It's a lifesaver. So, quick recap here, Razer's Synapse software is a nightmare on both Mac and Windows. But that simple little tweak in your device manager can actually solve the single biggest bandwidth issue. Okay, we've wrestled with the big problems, now let's get practical. Let's talk about how to actually get that professional-looking image that you paid all this money for. This section is super simple, it's all about do this, not that. Rule number 1, and this one is absolutely non-negotiable, avoid HDR mode. Just turn it off and never touch it again. I know it sounds cool, but it adds around 150 milliseconds of input lag. That's enough to make your audio and video completely out of sync, and it looks awful. What you're going to do instead is use manual exposure. The camera's auto exposure is way too jumpy and aggressive. It will blow out your face every time the light changes. Lock it down manually and get a consistent pro look. All right, tip number 2. Inside your streaming software, like OBS, you need to avoid the default video format, which is MJPG. It's super compressed, it's ugly, just don't use it. Instead, you want to switch it to NV12. Now, this is the secret sauce. This is how you get that beautiful, clean, uncompressed DSLR look. But there's a catch. This setting eats bandwidth for breakfast. You absolutely must have this camera plugged directly into its own dedicated USB 3.0 port on the back of your computer. No hubs, no extension cables, or it just won't work. Okay, quick recap for the pro workflow. For the best results, always avoid HDR mode and the MJPG format. And you always want to use manual exposure and the NV12 format. Got it? Good. All right, so we figured out how to tame this beast. We know its weaknesses, we know its strengths. But how does this flawed masterpiece actually stack up against its biggest rivals? It's time for a head-to-head battle. Before we compare it, we need to understand one of the Kiyo's biggest trump cards, true bokeh. What is that? It's the blurry background you see, but it's created optically by the lens, specifically its super wide f1.7 aperture. This is not that fake, weird-looking AI software blur that cuts your ear off. This is the real deal, the physical blur that makes an image look so much more professional and cinematic. So, let's look at the competition. You've got the Elgato Facecam Pro. Now, compared to that, the Razer gives you way better colors and that beautiful true bokeh, but its software, as we know, is absolute garbage. The Elgato, on the other hand, is sharper and has much better, more stable software, but its image can look a bit harsh and digital. Then you have the big guns, the Sony ZV-E 10-second. It's just better in every single way, but it costs more than double, plus you need a capture card. And that's what puts the Kiyo in this really weird, unique position. It gives you a little taste of that high-end image quality, but at a webcam price point. If, and it's a big if, you're willing to put up with its nonsense. So the quick recap, the Kiyo crushes the Elgato on natural background blur and in low light, but its software is a train wreck. Meanwhile, the Sony is in a whole other league, but it'll cost you 3 times as much. Okay, we have covered the tech, the nightmare software, the crucial fixes, and the competition. It is time to bring this all home for the final verdict. Let's get a clear, actionable answer to the big question. Should you buy this thing? Wait for something better? Or if you already have one, should you send it back? Let's break it down really simple. Who should buy this? You should buy it if you are a streamer, you're on a Windows PC, you work in low light a lot, and, most importantly, you are willing to wrestle with the software to get that absolutely unbeatable image quality. Who should wait? Well, if you're a Mac user, just forget it, it's useless. Also wait if you absolutely need true 4K at 60 frames per second. This camera is 4K 30 FPS, that's it. And finally, who should return it? If your camera is hot or even warm when your PC is completely turned off, send it back immediately. That's a sign of a faulty unit and it will fail on you. Okay, so that's the full deep dive. Now, just to make sure all the most critical information is locked in your brain, we're gonna do a quick revision session, a little pop quiz on everything we just went over. Ready? Let's do this. Question number 1. What is the main reason the Kiyo's frame rate will suddenly drop from 60 down to 45 FPS? The answer is thermal throttling, caused by that giant sensor overheating. Okay, question 2. Why is this camera basically a brick for Mac users? That's an easy one. The software you need, Razer Synapse 3, simply doesn't exist for Mac OS. Number 3. What is true bokeh and why does the Kiyo have it? It's that natural optical background blur, and the Kiyo has it thanks to its wide f1.7 aperture lens. Good. Question 4. Name one setting you should always avoid and one setting you should always use. You got it. Avoid HDR mode and always use manual exposure. And for the final question, what is that simple 10-minute fix for the USB bandwidth problem? That's right. It's disabling the camera's microphone under the sound section in your device manager. Perfect. And that really brings us right to the end, and this quote just says it all. The Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra is a total paradox. It's a story about absolutely world-class, incredible hardware being held hostage by some of the worst software I've ever had to deal with. For the right person, the person willing to fight for it, it produces an image that no other webcam on the planet can touch. It is, and I mean this, the best bad product you can buy.